And good morning from Shrewsbury station, and I thought I'd come and have a little walk up to the end of platform 3 because it's got slight faded glory, and you know I love a bit of faded glory. Behind me down the platform is Class 150 two-car unit just waiting to do the morning run down the Heart of Wales line, something which I'm going to do one of these days, but today is not the day. I'm actually going from here to Holyhead today, and I've got ticket to run first class from here to Holyhead on the northbound morning service of the Gerald of Wales. So let's just step out and enjoy another look at Shrewsbury station, which was built in 1848, although the lower floor was actually added underneath the original station in 1903. Boy, that was a lot of material to shift. The cool thing about Shrewsbury station is that you seem to discover new details each time you pass through. The new additions with the slate type finish do blend in pretty well. And here's our train, with the DB Cargo Class 67 leading the way ahead of a rake of 4 Mark IV coaches and a driving van trailer. They've a maximum operating speed of 200 km per hour or 125 miles per hour, but we will not reach those giddy speeds as the line to Holyhead has a maximum speed of 90 miles per hour. My first class coach is at the rear, but let's hop on here to have a look at standard class 2. Well, the standard class looks pretty nice, and we'll come back and have a closer look a bit later. First class is just beyond the cafe and the servery. And here we are. This will do very nicely. Right, while I settle into my seat, let's have a look at the route for today. We'll snake up the England-Wales borders through Gabowen, Chirk, Rhiaben, Wrexham and into Chester, where the train will reverse to travel westwards along the North Wales Coast Main Line. And we'll pass, without stopping, a number of the North Wales holiday resorts before pausing at Llandudno Junction. From there, there's one more stop at Bangor, and then we'll cross the Menai Straits into Anglesey to arrive at the port town of Holyhead. Our journey today will be 220 kilometres or 137 miles, and we are scheduled to take 2 hours and 28 minutes. I'm soon presented with my first cup of Earl Grey and a full menu for breakfast. So let's all have a look at the menu. Whilst the food is not free, I think it's pretty fairly priced for an on-board service. And now I've placed my order, let's have a closer look at the seats. Well, legroom is pretty good and that support post is well out of the way. Although I'm not sure about the aesthetics of having 4 bolts sticking up out of the floor. And each seat's got a 3-pin plug and 2 USB ports. And underneath the retractable armrest is the button for the seat recline. And seat recline is fairly decent, but I suspect if the 2 facing people both reclined, your knees might clash. But no, we're not treated to any window blinds on this train. Although there is a coat hook and a reading light. And generally there is lots of overhead luggage space. All in all, a very nice seat. So, time to sit back and enjoy a nice cuppa and watch the Shropshire countryside roll on by. Just south of Gabowen, we are joined by the now closed line from Oswestry. Gabowen is signed as Gabowen for Oswestry, as Oswestry is by far the bigger settlement. Shortly after Gabowen, we cross the Chirk Viaduct. On the other side of the train, the Shropshire Union Canal passes over the valley on the Chirk Aqueduct. Compared to the rundown nature of the previous station, Chirk is obviously well cared for by the locals. Also adjacent to the station, there are hopes to reinstate the platforms for the old Glyn Valley tramway and relay some of the track. The Grade 2 listed Kevin Viaduct takes us majestically over the River Dee. Quite a view even on a gloomy morning. Anyway, back to food. As I'd already had a hotel breakfast, I thought I'd try the waffles with maple syrup as a kind of mid-morning sweet snack, with another cup of tea, of course. At Wrexham, there's some of the upcycled underground D78 stock, which is now Class 230. They actually went into service in April 2023, shortly after I shot this video. They are dreadfully ugly in my opinion, but hopefully the locals will like them. The Class 230s will be used on the line for Bidston, and it's here that it turns off left as we continue to the right towards Chester. And progress continues to be reasonable, if not startling. Just before Chester, we pick up the North Wales coastline, which of course is where we'll be backtracking once we've reversed at Chester. Then it's over the River Dee again and into Chester Station. Right, it's time to change seats, ready for us to reverse to North Wales. As Chester is right on the border, it's interesting to note that the racecourse is in England, but the Chester football ground is just inside Wales. Now we're on the North Wales main line, the line speed will vary between 75 mph and 90 mph. It definitely feels like we're going just a little bit faster now. Oh, and the waffle was okay, but it was not a patch on the full Welsh breakfast I was about to enjoy in a couple of days on the southbound service. However, more of that on a later video. Once we pass the Connors Quay gas-fired power station, the Dee estuary stretches out before us. Our tracks still part to accommodate the now long gone baggage station. The Duke of Lancaster was beached here in 1979 to become the Fun Ship, which I guess was a gambling and party venue, but it closed in 2004, just in case you were going to pack your bags and get down there for a bit of a rave. Yep, this is quick now. Well, fairly quick. Talacre is another station on the line closed as part of the beaching cuts in 1966. And Prestatyn marks the start of a string of North Wales holiday towns. And of course, all of them becoming incredibly popular with the coming of the railways. Rhyl number 2 signal box dates from 1884, and although it is no longer in use, it contains 127 mechanical levers and is Grade 2 listed. Beyond Rhyl, we run along the coast past holiday resorts at Tywyn, Abergele and Colwyn Bay before we cut inland to Llandudno Junction. So, while we look out to sea, let's discuss what this run cost me today. Well, booking 3 weeks in advance, I secured my first class single ticket for £42.60 or €48.30, and that includes my 1/3 rail card discount, so it wasn't a cheap ride, especially considering it would have been just £13.75 in standard class. Just beyond the station, the Line 2 Llandudno curves north, but we must continue west over the mighty River Conwy. And we will cross the Conwy on the Grade 1 listed wrought iron tubular bridge designed by Robert Stevenson, no less. And then we pop out of the tube right under the beautiful Conwy Castle, which was built for Edward I in the late 13th century and is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And just before Conwy Station, the line actually punches its way right through the castle wall. And at Penmaen Mawr, we are back right on the beach. Bangor Station is accessed through the Bangor Tunnel. The station dates from the opening of the line in 1848, and I do love its cantilevered canopy. On leaving the station, the line immediately enters the Belmont Tunnel. We're now beside the Menai Straits, and I must say I'm quite excited to be crossing the Britannia Bridge. The original box section bridge suffered a fire in 1970 and was replaced with the current steel arched construction between 1972 and 1980. And now we're on Anglesey, we can pass that station with the very long name. Right, let's have a quick look round our train. Behind our first class coach is the servery where all the food is prepared, although now we're in Anglesey they're taking a break. Likewise, the buffet counter is now closed, but as we saw when we got on, it has been open for most of the journey. These standard class seats are really nice. The overall design, the comfort and the maquette are all excellent. Well, let's take a closer look at one. The tray table is small but quite functional, and there's just about enough legroom, I'd say. Out the carriage ends, there's a handy place to take phone calls or maybe to wait until your turn for the toilet. And talking of toilets, there it is. I think you've seen enough. And the next standard coach along has an accessible toilet too, with also plenty of space for wheelchairs and also some luggage stacks. And all the seats come with a 3-pin and USB power supply. Honestly, this is a really lovely standard class offering. Well done, Transport for Wales. We are actually running late, and sitting here halfway through Anglesey is not going to make it any better. Still, there are worse places to spend your time. And we're moving again. There are a few intermediate stations within Anglesey, but the Gerald will not be stopping. The RAF continue to have a presence on Anglesey, although Cardiff to Anglesey commercial services have now been withdrawn. Here's an interesting one. This little triangle of track is where the trains would collect flasks of spent nuclear fuel from the nearby decommissioned Magnox power station for onward shipment to Sellafield. Now that Magnox station is closed, the triangle is disused. And finally we cross the Stanley Embankment to enter onto Holy Island, from which no doubt Holyhead gets its name. And we arrive at Holyhead at 11:57, fully 39 minutes late. I have only a short while in Holyhead today myself, but the Gerald has even less time, as it was timetabled to depart at 11:33. It's lovely to see that since I was last here in 2022 they have completed the renovation of the station roof. So I've finally got a run on Gerald. Yeah, it's a really pleasant train, isn't it? Very underused in first class for sure, and the second class seats are really comfortable. I was talking to the first class steward and she was saying that sometimes first class passengers mistake the second class seats for first class, so not surprised there. They really were comfortable. So I hope you've enjoyed this little run on the Gerald of Wales from Shrewsbury to Holyhead, and if you have, then give it a like and consider subscribing to the channel, as I release a new video every Friday with a few bonuses on a Monday as well. But in the meantime, as the Gerald sets off to go back to Cardiff, it's goodbye from me and thanks for watching.